Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do. That man, that young man, I forgive him.
That's Erika Kirk providing stunning forgiveness and what hopefully is a transcendent moment that this bitterly divided nation so sorely needs. She, of course, was addressing a packed football stadium in Phoenix, Arizona, in a memorial service for her recently slain husband, Charlie Kirk, founder of Turning Points USA, which she has recently taken over the helm. It was a moving tribute for her recently killed husband, and it was a true moment of inspiration that drew praise across the partisan spectrum. Hi, I'm Mediaite founding editor Colby Hall, and the events that unfolded on Sunday were stunning. There was that incredible Christlike forgiveness of Erika Kirk's. That was the good, but there was also some bad and ugly, which we're going to list here as the good, the bad, and ugly of the Charlie Kirk Memorial. First up, Don Jr. surprised everyone with a stunning impression of, well, his father.
Welcome, everyone. I'm not widely known for being a sentimental guy. Anyone who's seen me on social media knows I'm far more likely to crack a joke or get myself in trouble for posting some grossly inappropriate memes than I am to shed a tear. I know this because I've even gotten the call from that guy a couple times. You know, Don, you're getting a little aggressive on social media, Don. Relax.
I guess it doesn't surprise me that he would know exactly how his dad spoke. It was sort of like a Catskill Borscht Belt routine, but he nailed it. And he brought some levity and lightness to otherwise somber proceedings, and good for him. Number 4, did Stephen Miller go Goebbels? Stephen Miller was very close to Charlie Kirk, and he is a controversial provocateur who is not afraid to say things political that sort of Stephen Miller was a close friend of Charlie Kirk, and he's a well-known provocateur, brash conservative who loves to sort of vilify his enemies. And this was sort of the case here when he went to great lengths to rally his side in the face of this tragedy.
When I see Erika and her strength and her courage, I'm reminded of a famous expression. The storm whispers to the warrior that you cannot withstand my strength. And the warrior whispers back, I am the storm. Erika is the storm. We are the storm. And our enemies cannot comprehend our strength, our determination, our resolve, our passion.
Now, shortly after this clip went viral on social media, there were a lot of eagle-eyed viewers who drew direct comparisons of what he was saying to the rhetorical style of Goebbels, who was a Hitler communications guy, right? And yeah, there are comparisons, particularly the use of storm and the grievance and the us versus them. But I don't think that it's responsible to make a direct Nazi comparison, and it's certainly not appropriate in this instance. Nonetheless, what he said was pretty controversial and problematic. Number 3, it sure sounded like Tucker Carlson was blaming the Jews. Tucker Carlson, again, was very close to Charlie Kirk, and he got up to speak about how, made a direct comparison between Charlie Kirk being assassinated with the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, who, of course, was killed by Jews who didn't understand Christ's teaching. Well, that's a controversial and some would say anti-Semitic point of view or trope to amplify.
Ultimately, he was a Christian evangelist. And it actually reminds me of my favorite story ever. So it's about 2,000 years ago in Jerusalem, and Jesus shows up and he starts talking about the people in power, and he starts doing the worst thing that you can do, which is telling the truth about people, and they hate it, and they just go bonkers. They hate it, and they become obsessed with making him stop. This guy's got to stop talking. We've got to shut this guy up. And I can just sort of picture the scene in a lamplit room with a bunch of guys sitting around eating hummus, thinking about what do we do about this guy telling the truth about us.
Sitting around eating hummus? I mean, that's kind of weird.
We must make him stop talking. And there's always one guy with the bright idea, and I can just hear him say, I've got an idea, why don't we just kill him? That'll shut him up. That'll fix the problem.
I'm shocked that there's not someone close to Tucker Carlson who said privately, hey, the hyena laugh, it's not a good look. Was he being anti-Semitic? I can't say. I don't necessarily know, but was he playing with a trope to get attention? Absolutely. Number 2, Erika Kirk's stunning forgiveness.
That young man. That young man. On the cross, our Savior said, Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do. That man, that young man, I forgive him.
Again, this was a moment that I think the nation has desperately needed, for someone on one side to just come out and say, hate doesn't stop hate, that we need to love our enemies as ourselves. And those are the true, what many believe to be the true teachings of Christ. And it was a stark difference from a lot of the political rhetoric we heard from many of the other speakers who used this opportunity to literally rally the troops, when instead she took the high road. She turned the other cheek. And, well, it was a beautiful thing that even drew praise from far-left panelists on MSNBC. When was the last time we saw someone on MSNBC turn around and praise something related to Turning Point USA? It was a great moment, and hopefully a historic one that we can all learn from.
I forgive him because it was what Christ did and is what Charlie would do. The answer to hate is not hate. The answer we know from the gospel is love, and always love. Love for our enemies and love for those who persecute us.
On the other hand, number 1, Donald Trump hates his enemies. Following Erika Kirk's stunning moment of forgiveness, President Trump had to get in the act, and he kind of cracked wise that, well, let's hear what he had to say.
He was a missionary with a noble spirit and a great, great purpose. He did not hate his opponents. He wanted the best for them. That's where I disagreed with Charlie. I hate my opponent, and I don't want the best for them. I'm sorry. I am sorry, Erika. But now Erika can talk to me and the whole group, and maybe they can convince me that that's not right, but I can't stand my opponent.
Now, again, I know that he's joking, and I think that the laughter in the room, the titters, was maybe uncomfortable, but it was intended in hyperbole. Nonetheless, that's a weird joke to make in that setting, particularly following the sort of beautiful words of Erika Kirk. For him to flat out say, like, I still hate my enemies, and that's just the wrong tone. And again, imagine a Democratic president like Obama or Biden saying something similar, that would not go over well. It would be 24/7 on Fox News and conservative media, as it should be. Again, he was joking, but many a truther said in jest, and the joke there was intended to normalize. But then he continued.
Charlie's angry. Look at that. He's angry at me now. He wasn't interested in demonizing anyone. He was interested in persuading everyone to the ideas and principles he believed were good, right, and true.
good for him for saying Charlie Kirk was looking down at him and angry, because that's, I'd like to imagine that, when people die, they sort of have sudden consciousness and they're well aware, and that's kind of a good idea to think. But again, Trump can't help but be an entertainer, and that landed well in the room, but it's a clip that will probably come back to haunt him because, again, it struck the wrong tone. Again, I'm Mediaite founding editor Colby Hall. If you want more videos like this, please click the like and subscribe button. Thanks for watching.